Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to break down everything you need to know about concrete consolidation, specifically to help you prepare for and absolutely nail your PCI Level 1 and Level 2 certification exams. You bet you are. And in this Explainer, we're going to make sure of it by locking down the core concepts you've just got to know. Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to start with the fundamentals, the stuff that forms the basis for so many questions on the exam. All right, first up, the goal. We're starting with why it matters because, look, if you can get the why behind all this, remembering the how for your test becomes so much easier. So what is consolidation really? Well, it's way more than just dumping concrete into a form. It's the whole process of compacting it, making sure it gets into every nook and cranny, wrapping tight around all that rebar. The main point is to get rid of things like stone pockets, honeycomb, and especially that entrapped air. Because those little air pockets, they are your enemy. They can lead to corrosion and really compromise the entire structure. Okay, this is a big one for the exam. You've got two things to worry about: undervibration and overvibration. Now, out in the real world, undervibration is what you see most of the time. It's the common foe. But on your test, they love to ask about that hidden danger, overvibration. You've got to know the risks for both. Okay, let's move on to Section 2, internal vibration. Pay close attention here, folks, because this is the core technique. It's a huge part of your exam, so we are going to get this procedure down cold. Here is a number I want you to burn into your brain right now. 2 to 3 inches. Got it? 2 to 3 inches. That's how far you have to keep your internal vibrator, your stinger, away from the face of the mold. It seems like a tiny detail, but trust me, getting this wrong leaves some very obvious and very bad results. And here's exactly what happens when you ignore that rule. If you get too close, you get what are called stinger marks. Basically, the vibration physically shoves all the coarse aggregate away from the surface, leaving these ugly little pockets of just fine material. It's a total dead giveaway that someone didn't know what they were doing. All right, let's talk about the rhythm of vibration, because the timing is everything. It's how you get those pesky air pockets out. And it's a super simple rule to remember for your exam. Sink it fast, pull it slow. Think about 1 second per foot on the way down, and then a nice, slow, deliberate 3 seconds per foot on the way back up. That slow pull is the magic part. It gives the air bubbles time to escape. Okay, here's a rapid-fire list of rules you absolutely have to know. These are classic exam questions. First, always overlap your vibration areas for uniform results. Second, never use the vibrator to push concrete around sideways. That's a huge no-no. It causes segregation. Third, try to avoid hitting the rebar directly to prevent those shadow lines. And hey, if you're working with epoxy-coated rebar, you have to use a rubber-headed vibrator. And last but not least, stay at least 2 feet away from any unconfined edge. Got it? Good. All right, moving on to Section 3, external vibration. Think of this as the supporting cast. Internal vibration is the star of the show, for sure. But you absolutely have to know these other methods for your exam. First up, form vibrators. If there's one thing you need to remember about these, it's this. They have to be bolted on tight. They need to be securely fixed to the molds. I mean, if they're loose, they're not just useless. They can actually do some serious damage. So secure attachment is key. Next, you've got surface vibrators. These are your go-to tools when you're working with thin layers of concrete. Think about facing mixes or the flanges on a double T. For your exam, you just need to be able to identify the 3 main types: vibrating screeds, hand jitterbugs, and vibrating bowl floats. And rounding out the group, we have vibrating tables. These things are fantastic for flat work, super efficient. But here's the catch, and the thing you'll be tested on: uniformity. You've got to make sure the whole table is vibrating evenly. Otherwise, you get dead spots where the concrete isn't consolidated properly at all. Okay, Section 4, handling special concretes. Now, if you're going for your Level 2 certification, lean in close. This section is especially for you. We're talking about those trickier, non-standard mixes. Let's put 2 classic exam scenarios head-to-head. First, lightweight concrete. What's the biggest danger? Overvibration. You vibrate it too much, and all those light aggregate particles just float to the top. Bad news.
Now, on the other hand, with face mixtures, the danger is totally different. It's lateral movement. Pushing it sideways with a vibrator will cause segregation. So remember, lightweight, don't overvibrate. Face mix, don't move it sideways. Knowing that difference is an easy way to snag some points on your exam.
All right, we are in the home stretch. Section 5, key exam takeaways. Let's do a final review and lock in these critical points so you can walk into that exam feeling totally confident. These are the big ones, people. The concepts that can really make the difference between a pass and a fail. Okay, if you remember nothing else from this entire explainer, remember these 5 don'ts. This is your ultimate cheat sheet. Number 1, don't let that stinger touch the forms. 2, don't move concrete sideways with the vibrator. 3, don't overvibrate lightweight concrete. 4, don't forget to overlap your vibration areas. And 5, don't pull that vibrator out too fast. Seriously, avoiding these common mistakes is what shows an examiner you really get it. You don't just know the how, you know the why. And that's really the big question, isn't it? Beyond the theory, how are you going to apply these best practices on your next project? Because passing the exam, and you will pass, is just the first step. The real mark of a pro is taking this knowledge and using it day in and day out on the job. That's what it's all about. Good luck on your certification. You've got this.